Hey everybody, it's Old School Nerd. Surprise! It's Friday. Yeah, I know. You didn't think I was going to forget this, right? No, I'm not going to forget it. Okay, ESTEPARIO SIBERIANO, the Groove Father. What are the top 20 drum intros ever? I don't know, but I know he does. Now, he has done covers to so many songs that I love, both modern and classics, but he's also done songs I've never even heard of until he did the covers. So I'm really excited to see what he feels are the top 20 drum intros ever. Now, is his list the definitive list? I don't know, but he's probably the most qualified person I know of on YouTube to tell us what they are. Here's the thing. I haven't seen the video. I do see that there's a Spanish subtitle there. I'm going to try to see if I can guess them. I don't know. I'm probably not going to get any right, but we're going to give it a shot anyway, right? I haven't seen the video. Someone said, are you going to try to guess them? And I said, well, is there a way to do that? And he says that ESTEPARIO tells us what they are after he plays them. And I was like, okay, we'll see how many I get right. Probably not a lot. Because without the bass line and, you know, it's hard. Sometimes just the drums, hard to pick up a song. Some are iconic, some are a little bit more nuanced. Well, let's find out. Here we go. It's a 23-minute video, so this is going to be a bit. So please be patient with me. All right, here we go.
How are you doing? Today
Hello.
I bring you a very special video. As many of you know, I have been playing all sorts of songs for more than 4 years, and I have tried.
You play the drums? Really? Wow, didn't know that. Couldn't tell by the Air Force logo drum set in front of you, bro. Love the classic Air Force. That's the World War II era, the U.S. Air Force logo right there on the side of the drums. It's pretty cool. Some Varus drums, yeah. It's amazing. He has such clean kits.
Some of the most exciting and interesting songs ever created. Now, the purpose for me on this video is to show you the best drum intros that I've ever had to play. And also, there is another purpose, but I need you to help me in order to get there. By the end of the video, after watching all the performances, I would like you to comment your top 5, okay? One thing that I want you to understand is that on this video, we are not playing the hardest ones, okay? This is going to be about the best ones, the most creative, the ones that really changed the game back in the day when all of...
Otherwise, it'd be all Slipknot and Dream Theater. Yeah, not the hardest, the most iconic. Iconic, there we go.
These songs were released, and that's the important part, because we are here in order to pay respect to those drummers and in order to recollect all of their art. And I think that most of them are going to be considered pretty simple, pretty basic, but that's okay. Some of the best drum intros ever recorded were actually pretty basic, pretty simple, but they had that taste, they had that musicality, and they added something to the music. And with all of that being said, come on, let's start this video with some power. Let's go with it.
That's Dave Grohl. The Gap Band. The Gap Band, right? The double tap, that's quintessential Dave Grohl, but we know he stole everything from the Gap Band. It's the Gap Band. Drop the bomb on me. Oh, that's Queens of the Stone Age. I remember when Queens came out, they were so out there, nobody knew what to do. It's definitely Dave Grohl, though. Yes! Wasn't into metal in the early 2000s, I got away, but Queens of the Stone Age kind of caught my attention because I was getting into more jazz and groove, and Queens of the Stone Age had this something about them that kind of sat outside of the in the musical industry norms, and I think that's why Dave Grohl was so fascinated with them as well. So
You know that, right? That's Dave Grohl playing for Queens of Stone Age. That's a total banger. Interesting, because the drumming itself, it's not that complicated, you know, it has that very powerful essence. It's tribal,
that's
it's
Dave.
primitive,
Dave's not Dave was never,
of course, we have the hi-hat.
Dave was savage. Dave Grohl is a savage drummer. And we all know, he even admits it now, that a lot of his stuff came from the Gap Band. So it's very aggressive on the snare, which we love.
Going all the way, but the most interesting part in here is that if you listen to the rest of the music, who in the audience would have come with this idea? Nobody, right? Because you got that little riff going on the guitar, but there is no other clue happening for you to do whatever. And that's why I wanted to start with this one, because
awesome.
This is exactly what this video is about. And with that being said, let's go with the next.
Why did my sound cut out?
There's no other clue happening for you to do whatever.
My sound
and that's
cut
why
out.
I wanted to start with this one, because this is exactly what this video is about. And with that being said, let's go with the next.
Well, it's obviously Toxicity, but
Sounds like.
But did he have to mute his own audio? Oh my God. Did he have to mute the audio that he was playing because he got a copyright hit on Toxicity? Wow.
Because this is exactly what this video is about. And with that being said, let's go with the next.
That's exactly what happened. The #1 drummer on all of YouTube, he still gets copyright hits. You guys do realize that the cover he did of Numb was my #1 uncopyrighted reaction for almost the last 6 months. Last month, almost 8 months after I posted that reaction, it got copyright hit last week. Isn't that weird? Yeah, they'd be doing that stuff all day long. So we know that the next one was System of a Down, Toxicity. I think I probably would have guessed that one because System of a Down is really iconic on their drums. No one sounds like them rhythmically.
Toxicity, real composer, John Dolmayan. John Dolmayan
Dude's
has been
crazy.
described by Modern Drummers magazine like the one with the schizophrenic beats. They are right. Sounds so primitive. Okay, it sounds like tribal. It has power. Again, a lot of toms. You listen to the guitar. Da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. And there's not a single clue for you to come up with something like this. But he heard it and he knew there was a lot of space in the middle and he wanted to fill it. How did he do that? It was very hard to pick just one intro because again, they have a lot of very interesting intros that we should study.
Okay, that's also System of a Down. Okay. That one is enigmatic because when it starts, you just see the whole crowd. You know, for Chop Suey, it's great. There you go. And this one didn't get copyrighted for him. That's good.
Let's go with the next one.
Judas Priest? Because it sounds like Painkiller, but it could be different. The only reason why I know that is don't da don't da don't da don't da. I just remember, yeah, it could be. Yeah, the tom. Oh, I really thought that was Painkiller. Because the way don't da don't da don't da don't da. I don't think I know that song. I was never into Nine Inch Nails. Can I be honest that I wasn't into Nine Inch Nails? Yeah. Yeah, never really was. I know a lot of you are. I never got Trent Reznor. He was too far out of my wheelhouse for me to really grasp at that, which is weird. I think maybe I'm missing out. I probably am.
Very, very interesting, and it reminds me of the next one that we are going to play. Probably this one influenced the next, okay? We are playing a all-time signature, and it's very interesting because very, very few songs have all-time signatures and turned out to be legendary songs that everybody knew. For example, Money by Pink Floyd, maybe 7 Days by Sting, but it is very, very hard to make an all-time signature sound so good and so effortless that people don't even realize that you are playing an all-time signature. And that's why that intro deserves to be here. And now let's go with the next one. That's basically the same thing that happened here, but with a little twist and without the all-time signature. Let's go with it.
Oh! Woohoo! I remember that. Okay. Now you see, this one was more, for me, this one was more iconic because of the intro, not the drum intro part was, of course, obviously important, but that guitar, which went with the drums. Okay. Yeah, some of these I'm going to get, but some of them without the melodic or the bass line, it is hard to guess them. I mean, hell, I thought Nine Inch Nails was Painkiller by Judas Priest, for God's sakes. Come to find out, I think they're very similar, just one's a lot faster.
You know that one, right? And you can see how it's very, very similar. Not only it is a very interesting and powerful intro, but also whenever they are playing the floor tom, for me it sounds like they are also playing the snare drum on top. It is not possible to play that with just two arms. And maybe you can help me out in the comments, because for me, this floor tom sounds with a snare drum on top, and it would go like this.
Yep. That's Painkiller. When I said, yep, I was like, there it is. The other one was just too slow. And I was like, why is it so slow? But yeah, okay, that's, yeah, okay. There you go. See the difference? They're similar, but one's way faster. There it is. See, I was forgetting the first pop out, and I was thinking of the snare and the kick part. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, they are similar ones, obviously way faster.
Oh, this is a very strong one. This is a very, very strong one. Because here, you got no clues. Like,
no.
Nothing is happening. This is your intro. Play whatever you want. No voice, no bass whatsoever. Nothing. And he came up with this, which is tricky because when you listen to it for the first time, maybe you think the bass drum is going on constantly, you know, but it's not, okay? He's mixing a couple patterns. He's adding some triplets. You got snare, 4 bass drums. Snare, 4 bass drums, snare, you also got some triplets, and on top of that, he's not playing the same cymbal, he's moving,
he's working
all
around
over the kit, playing every cymbal, and of course, ending with that beautiful, beautiful feel. And that first snare also indicates the one on the next group. It was not recorded by using a metronome, so whenever the group kicks in, the tempo radically goes down. If you listen to the original, you will understand how extremely complicated and how driven by the feelings that recording was. Let's go with the next one.
All right, Linkin Park, yeah.
This one is tricky, and it's tricky for...
And that's because that goes in, nah, they use, because of the pads. And both the pads and Mr. Hahn, that over the electronic sounds being played in the intro above the drums, you don't, it's hard, if you hear that, that pad sound that goes with the drums in the rhythm section of Linkin Park, Linkin Park's known to add both electronic and pad sounds in with its rhythm section, so they kind of go together. I didn't catch that one at all until he said that, and I was like, oh my God, okay, it makes total sense.
The same reason that maybe Blue Monday was tricky, this was probably crafted by a DJ. Whoever composed it really hit the right spot. You got
I literally just said that, holy shit.
3 strokes on the bass drum that are played very fast, and you got a couple of accents with the hi-hat that feel weird, the ghost notes feel weird. This sounds like DJ work, but it can be played on the drum.
Mr. Hahn put that together. You could tell he kind of put that together because of the way it was played. Oh my God! You know, it's not very often that I'm right, because I'm wrong about everything, but when you could say something, and then the groove father goes, yeah, I see this too, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not a complete idiot. Don't tell anybody, they won't believe you.
drums. And it's also a very, very famous and powerful intro that has inspired a lot of people, and that's why it had to be here. Whoever did this set a precedent. DJs can also create amazing drum intros. And talking about DJs, let's go with the next one. You'll love this one.
Yeah, I see that. Okay, it's funny. I know that part of Eyeless. I don't know the intro part. The first part he played, I didn't get. But that part right there, that kick stop, that reminds me of Joey Jordison a lot. Listen. But this I don't get. That I get. Okay, yeah.
What can I say about that? Now, this is where things get spicy again. The first beat, nothing to do with Joey. Joey was not playing that live. We know that. That was Craig's work, okay? That was just a very specific drum and bass pattern. I don't know how he created. I don't know if he sampled it, but that drum and bass is amazing.
Okay, so the first part I didn't recognize. But once the part comes in where Joey joins in with that da-da-da-da-da, before it goes into the full count, the beginning, I don't get because it's recorded. The second part, when Joey joins in to start the song, I did recognize the second part as Joey Jordison. So he's right, it is very tricky.
Intro is going to shake everybody in the room. But on top of that, even though Craig did an amazing work, then we go with Joey, who was also notorious because he could just create the best drum intros ever. And he came up with those accents and those amazing feels. And if you listen to the record, no processing whatsoever. It was just raw, not even a metronome, raw drumming. And the whole idea behind it is amazing. Listen to it. That intro is amazing, with the perfect use of toms. And of course, in the end, in order to go to the groove that's also top-notch groove, we have that amazing and fast feel that we don't even know where it came from, okay? And that was just Joey. Joey's again a drummer like Travis Barker. They are nothing alike, but they were able to turn themselves into massive, inspiring people that were able to make thousands of persons from all around the globe to pick some sticks and try to get the best out of this beautiful instrument. So from here, Joey, we miss you, but we still love you and respect you, and we are continuing with your legacy. And that being said, let's go with the...
Okay, before we get to the next one, it is really freaking me out that twice in this video, I see something, I hear something, I share with you how I'm feeling, and then ESTEPARIO kind of echoes what I catch, which is flattering to me that he heard and he feels something that I feel, makes me feel like, holy crap. Now, that was probably twice. That means I was lucky. That's really, let's be honest, because I was wrong a lot at the beginning of this video. He's right, though. Travis Barker and Joey Jordison changed the way people think about music. Danny Carey, Neil Peart. There are people in music that when they come out with something, it's something like you've never experienced, and it makes people start to realize, okay, when Neil Peart first came out doing the stuff he did in Rush, people were like, you can do that with drums? You're just supposed to sit there and just keep count. That's what drums are for. And Neil was like, no, we're going to tell the story. And then Danny Carey comes out and says, we can go anywhere we want. We don't have to stay within structure. We can accent and go global with it. And then you have Joey that says, I'm going to break the laws of physics. Or Travis says, it's not just something a DJ can write. I can play it on the drums too. You see the difference? Those four people are the first four people that come to mind that everything before them was understood. and then they come out and start playing the drums, and their drumming changes the way people feel about music and what's possible in the drums. Could you imagine some of the modern metalcore and modern metal stuff that's coming out now? If those four people didn't exist, would we still be playing music like it's Black Sabbath? Would it still be just straight four on the floor like American glam metal in the 80s? No. Drumming now is how far can you take it and still stay in the song? And those are because of some of those four drummers and drummers like them. There's so many. In the comments, you can list all the drummers that have made an impact that changed the way people can view drums in music. And can I be honest with you? That guy right there is doing it too. Not just in the videos he does on YouTube, but also in the band The Cost. Their last one was insane. Go check that out. It's really good. All right, let's keep going.
The next one.
That's 80s. It's not Aha. That's not Take Me On. That's not Take On Me. I almost want to say it's the B-52's Love Shack, but it's not. It's not. Because Love Shack is really basic. This is not. Maniac! Yes! Maniac! Maniac on the... You know, Firewind did a really good cover of that when they covered for Battle Beast on the Dragon Force tour back in 2022. Firewind came out there, and you know who? And Adrian from Seven Spires came out. Seven Spires opened that tour. She came out and sang Maniac with Firewind. It was amazing. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Definitely iconic 80s vibe there. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
Now, you tell me if there's anybody in the audience that does not know this song. And I specifically chose it because, again, we are picking songs from every single kind of music, okay? Because you never know who is influencing the drummers that you love. That pattern right there, very complicated. When we hear it, we realize that there is no human being playing that. It's a machine. But it is a pattern that somebody had to come up with. And we got groups of four on the cowbell. I cannot play groups of four because, again, I would need 3 hands in order to do it. But the pattern goes like this. And when you're able to play that inside the group with all the accents of the song, the result is an amazing drum intro that anyone on planet Earth is going to recognize instantly. Yeah. That's it. Perfect intro, and it needed to be right here. Let's move forward.
Led Zeppelin, Good Times, Bad Times. Two notes, and I know that right there. Dum dum ta dum ta da 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 dum dum. Yeah, you're gonna start getting into John Bonham, dude. We're gonna be here a bit. I picked that one up on the first two. Boom, boom, John Bonham. I played this song. I love it. Yep.
John Bonham is one of the drummers that, well, if you try to stop and think about just one intro, that's impossible, okay? You got Black Dog, you got Rock and Roll, you got Good Times, Bad Times, you got
Moby Dick.
Lot of them, and all of them are just as good. I just picked this one because I was thinking, this is like a proper intro, it's just himself. On Rock and Roll, of course, you got that very, very interesting beat. It is just an amazing intro as well.
Yep. Yeah.
Just as amazing. It's just accents, that weird pattern on the cowbell. Who would have thought, like, okay, let's do this? Probably nobody. And that's why a lot of people hated Bonham back in the day. And suddenly he made it, but his idea.
If you hated him, it's because you couldn't do it yourself. That's the problem. Remember what I said, when I say Neil Peart and Danny Carey and all those guys, John Bonham was also one of those people that said, I'm not going to play what people expect to be played. And yeah, some drummers didn't like him, but anybody that loves Zeppelin, without John Bonham, that outside the box funk and jazz bluesy feel that he had, made him iconic. Also, not putting a sound dampener in his kick drum really pissed people off. Drummers in the industry. The fact that he let his drums just go boom, which was interestingly enough, because this is something just for me to all of you. John Bonham not putting a dampener in his kick drum is one of the things that made Neil Peart, before he joined Rush, he played in a few bands and he played without a dampener in his kick, and it used to drive people crazy too. But, you know, just creativity. Why does he look like Lemmy in this picture? Well, greatness knows greatness, I guess.
Ideas. It was like so disruptive, so uncommon and orthodox, and that's why he really deserves to be here, because he is one of the best drummers of history. Without any single doubt, he needed to be on this list. Let's go with the next one.
Dire Straits, Money for Nothing. Sorry, there are songs that the second you could play 2 or 3 notes and I'll know. Interestingly enough, Money for Nothing is my least favorite Dire Straits song that's popular, even though it is one of my wife's favorite songs. I'm a big Sultans of Swing guy because I love the groove.
Money for Nothing, again, amazing for a couple of reasons. The first one, no clue whatsoever. You know, it's all ambience, you got all of the effects on the guitar, you know, the voice just singing, everything is so smooth, and suddenly just feels and feels and feels and feels, and everything is orchestrated in a very, very weird way. Whenever you try to play it on top of the original song, you are going to realize that you cannot. It was just about feelings. You don't even sense a tempo. It is very, very hard to play it properly. It's not just like some random that he came up with. No, it has been calculated. Every single detail is there for a reason, and that's why I think that needs to be right here. It is an amazing intro. It requires a lot of concentration and stamina. It's all about the singles, all of them orchestrated beautifully, and they finish with that beautiful triplet. And then Mark starts playing the main riff. And
another thing about this one that's really difficult for drummers is you have to be able to count the rests, making sure that your gaps between those patterns are proper. Otherwise, you can throw the timing off on the song. Some people, luckily, there's click tracks for most people, but we happen to know that in the OG, he didn't use a click track. It was literally felt. So you could literally watch him play it live, and he's literally, his whole body is moving to what he knows it to be. It's still one of my, this is probably my favorite drum intro for Dire Straits, but I'm a big Sultans of Swing guy. Here's the other thing. Iconic songs that you can hear like the first note, and because of the instrument that's playing it or the key or the tone of it, it instantly reminds you. I know that some of the people that have talked to me said, Welcome to the Black Parade. The first time you hear that one keynote, people can jump to it and they know it's My Chemical Romance. But when you're dealing with drums, very few songs on the drums, 1 or 2 beats or 1 or 2 counts in, you can instantly identify. That is one of those.
It all ends with that tasty feel on the toms.
Tasty feel. El Estepario, you need to make a new shirt that says Tasty Feel.
Overall, just a total masterclass on how to use the melody that your drums have to offer in order to create the perfect intro. Let's go with the next one.
Really? So much so he changed the floor tom to play it. Because it is recorded on a field tom. So it is different to get the low end. And yes, the pattern is not a drumming, syncopated, or classically timed pattern. It is the pattern of a Harley Davidson motorcycle exhaust, which is not timed at all because those things run rough. Oh, sorry. Hot for the Teacher, Van Halen. he's playing it with a kick drum, a bass kick drum, turned on its side for this, but Alex Van Halen did record it on a field bass drum for a marching band on its side. That's why it sounds, that was the only thing back in the 80s that sounded like that they thought of, which is interesting that he's using a floor tom, probably because there was no marching band bass drums available at the time. Why would he have that? I don't know. He might. He's got a handpan.
Hot for Teacher, Van Halen. Nothing to add.
Van
My personal
Halen.
opinion, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna say it. It is the number one, technically, okay? And he was playing all of this live and everything, but technically, you got that weird set of hertz happening. It's just an engine, man. It is just an engine.
Yeah.
And legend has it. It was like a Lamborghini or a motorcycle or whatever.
People think it's a Lamborghini, and he wanted to do a Lamborghini, but the reason why they say it's a Lamborghini is because it wasn't Eddie's Lamborghini. It was a friend of Eddie's Lamborghini. I think it was the producer of the album, had a Lamborghini who had a cylinder that was out. And when it was idling, it was making that little pop off. And Alex thought of that and then realized that would be great. But when they went to record it, the sound they used was the pattern of a tuned Harley Davidson, which is still off.
We have nothing confirmed. Such a complex fucking thing. Nothing is accidental, okay? Everything has been meticulously calculated, and I think maybe back in the day it didn't get the credit that it deserves. Maybe it did, okay? It's Van Halen, they were famous, but this is not their biggest hit, and I don't understand why. Because this, in my opinion, is and will...
David Lee Roth. Also, remember, when Hot for the Teacher came out, they were just starting to kick off. And then right after that, you had Panama, which was huge, and also Jump. Hot for the Teacher may have been the enigmatic drumming intro, and it was. But in the 80s, you could not do a song about wanting to bang your teacher because she's hot and a stripper on the radio in some places and on MTV as much as you could a song like Jump, where the keyboard intros and all the keyboards of Jump were more connectable with the pop and 80s pop vibes that were dominating radio. Do you see what I'm saying? So the roughness and the subject matter of Hot for Teacher kept it from really being played as much as Panama or Jump. And Jump is probably the biggest song of Van Halen in that time frame of the first David Lee Roth era of Van Halen. So he's right. It should have been bigger, but America and the 80s.
Always be the best drum intro
It
ever.
is.
Straight to the point, catchy, so complex and yet so musical that for me it deserves to be the number one of the list.
Oh, that's Come Together Beatles. Dun 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 dun. Yeah. Now, this was towards the end of the Beatles in the late 60s. The early 60s, Ringo Starr really played four on the floor because that's what music had to be popular in America. Towards the last end of the 60s with the hippie and psychedelic movement, Ringo was able to do more experimentation. Of course, the other members, of course, John Lennon was really into Asiatic rhythms and Indian rhythms and cultural Persian styles, as well as you know, Harrison also was really into global sounds. So you started to get more of a vibe change with the Beatles. And this to me was really one of their craziest vibes for Come Together. They really said, you know what? The Beatles isn't just four on the floor. I want to hold your hand. This was one of those times where people start to think, man, these guys are absolute geniuses and have changed the game and evolved. Everyone that thinks that Beatles is just basic, you haven't listened to the whole story. It's a long, elaborate journey, and they developed so far that it ultimately split them apart. That and Yoko Ono.
I'm not the only one that praises this intro, but also, well, everyone. Dave Grohl, Stuart Copeland, all of them love Ringo because of the simplicity, but also because of the musicality that they had and how good they were at grabbing a simple intro and turning it into something legendary. So kudos to Ringo Starr, one of the best to ever do it. And that being said, let's go with the next one.
Aha, Take On Me. Take me on. First use of animation in a music video, which isn't saying much because it was also one of the first music videos ever played on YouTube. I'm not YouTube, MTV. Of course, Mickey was the first one, and Video Killed the Radio Star was also one of the first ones. So you had Mickey, Video Killed the Radio Star, and Aha, Take On Me was also one of very early videos in the music video age. And to have that mirror and be able to step through the mirror from the real world into an animated world is a story that we even tell now, you know, with the TV show The Magicians and Narnia and stuff like that. I mean, just to step through the looking glass, Alice in Wonderland. It's a classic story, but to do it in a music video is crazy. But yeah, the drumming on this song is very, very elaborate, especially for the 80s when everyone was going super basic.
Take On Me. That's a very, very massive song, but one thing that very few people realize, it is a very, very complex groove. First, you got the bass drum. You got an ostinato happening between an auxiliary hat and a tom. Very nice and also a very interesting idea. Now, let's go with the next one.
Blink-182, I thought about it, I knew it was more modern. I thought maybe Travis Barker, but for that one I kind of need the bass line to really catch it. The bass line is perfect, but yeah, definitely Blink-182. That double tap hi-hat to snare, that was really when you know that it was Blink-182. Just drums, no bass line, no nothing else. It's hard to capture that it's Travis Barker. But once you get that put together, hi-hat and snare, tap coming in, that's classic Travis. But yeah, I didn't know it until he got a little bit further in. So that one I couldn't have gotten that fast.
We all know that one, right? Is it the hardest thing you can play? No, but you gotta remember,
but it's iconic.
A whole generation of drummers that were born because of this music, okay? Yeah. We got some drummers like Travis Barker that maybe are not the most sophisticated, but they really knew how to do one thing: lit the fire inside a whole generation of people that didn't know that they wanted to play drums. And that's, for example, my case. And that's why I think this intro is so legendary. I gotta say, in this case, it was a little bit complicated because Travis is very, very good at creating interesting drum intros.
182, yeah, Blink. That is when the first one is an iconic. That is the most iconic Travis Barker intro. To work the rim the way he does on this song, everybody knows it.
Awesome intro. Travis is the man, and for that, he deserves at least one spot on this list. And now that we are playing pop punk, let's go with Tré Cool from Green Day.
Tré Cool has some amazing intros. Green Day has amazing intros.
Basket Case is another perfect example of what that generation of drummers did to the whole drumming community, okay? Again, we have a very simple vocabulary, there are no rudiments whatsoever, we are just playing with singles. However, we got a nice display of all the accents with the cymbals, we got the beginning, counting the time with the hi-hat, just like, for example, Dave Grohl did on Song for the Dead, and on top of that, we got a very, very interesting feel that everyone is going to recognize all over the world. Let's go with the next one.
80s? How does it feel? No, this is, trying to remember the song. Don't, dun, 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 dun. I'm trying to remember the song. I know the song, I just don't. I don't know the name of it though. Yep. 80s, baby. Blue Monday, that's right. Okay, I couldn't remember the song. It's one of those songs that you know the song, but you don't remember who the fuck played it. If you ask me, it's New Order. I don't remember that. I remember the song. The song plays on the radio, I know it, but I couldn't tell you who it was. It's kind of like Maniac. Everybody knows the song Maniac, but do you know who made the song? No, you don't. Shut up. You don't know. You just know that it's Maniac. It's very similar with this. But Blue Monday is iconic 80s.
Gotta love this one, I don't care what you like.
It's really good.
Everyone you see playing this song, they don't play it right because the hi-hat has groups of 3, of course, but it also has groups of 2, and that's what makes this groove a masterpiece, very tricky. The hi-hat goes like this.
It's not easy. I can't play it at all.
On top of that, you need to play the bass drum as well. Amazing drum intro that announces a song that, in my opinion, everyone should know and that was not understood back in the day, but as time passed by, it aged like wine. And now let's go with the next one.
The Gap Band. 100%. You dropped a bomb on me, the Gap Band. No. Ask Dave, he'll tell you. It's definitely the Gap Band.
You know that one already. Again, it's Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl should own the whole list. That's one of the best drummers of all time. And again, this is something that probably everyone can play, but not everyone can come up with this idea. Now, you can listen to an interview where he's talking with Pharrell Williams about how he came up with this idea. And it turns out he was just influenced by a lot of disco drummers, okay? So he just thought, okay, let's try to grab that and apply it to our own movement.
And Pharrell's like, what? It's a great interview.
Let's keep going.
Bongo song. Now, this is the one that I only know because he did a cover of it. I'd never heard the bongo song before. And a lot of that is because the bongo song is huge in Europe, but not in America. So yeah, thank you for sharing the bongo song with me. That and all of us, this is an amazing song. I have a reaction to his, but please check out his original. His cover of Bongo Song is amazing because Bongo Song was originally played by 2 drummers and he could do it by himself.
That's Bongo Song or Play It Alive. You got the drum cover right there. That is an amazing. I call it the impossible one because it took so much time. Man, that intro is just nuts. Maybe
really
this should be on the best percussion intros, okay? Because again, we're playing bongos and they play a lot of percussion on that track. But if you listen to the whole mix, you understand that you can actually translate all of the music that they're playing into the drum kit. However, after all the things that I've played, there's one last thing that I need to play before I go. I wanted to save it for the last spot because for me, it is the the hardest of them all, and it's not only about how hard it is to play it, but also the good memories that it brings me, okay? Because it's a song that whenever I listen to, I knew that I was going to be sweating 5 minutes after, okay? But on top of that, and what's most important, not only to me, but also to each and every one of you, I guarantee you that it brings good memories. It goes like this.
Wow.
So many good memories, bad memories, dirty memories, however you want to call it. Okay, guys, so as I said on the intro, the most important part of the video comes right now. I want you to pick your own list. I would like you to pick just 3 of them, okay? I need to know what the drumming community consider to be the best 3 drum intros of the whole time. Personally, and this is just a matter of taste, number 1 goes for Hot for Teacher. The second one would go for Painkiller. And the third one, and again, just my personal opinion, would be Money for Nothing, because it's just a masterclass on how to use the toms with a lot of taste in order to start a song. That's my order, but please comment the ones that you like and let me know if you would like to see more videos like this one, because obviously I left a lot of songs, grooves and feels out there, but I would love to keep doing videos like this talking about the best grooves in metal, the best Slipknot songs, the best metal intros ever. So if you made it this far, please subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on the comments. That's the most important thing. And of course, as always, thank you all so much for being here. And I really hope to see you all guys very soon on the next videos. Stay safe and take care. Cheers.
All right, seriously, he's right. There's a lot of drums he left out. But also understand, these could be the ones that influenced him the most. And that's okay. Me, I would probably have John Bonham's Good Times, Bad Times in there, because that is iconic for me. Nothing from Neil Peart. YYZ's a really good one. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, there's just a lot of them there. However, a lot of the stuff from Rush always had something with Neil. It wasn't just Neil starting something. There are some iconic ones. People talk about Iron Maiden. They talk about some stuff from Metallica. I get all that, but why not The Trooper? You know? See, but a lot of those, the intro is done by another instrument, not the drums. He's trying to focus on drum intros. And there are a few, but the ones that he mentioned, Hot for the Teacher, Money for Nothing, those are probably the ones that are influenced to me the most. So I kind of agree with his list. I really wouldn't have any more to add to that. But yeah, so outstanding intro. I love the video. To ESTEPARIO SIBERIANO, thank you for continuing to push. So I really, really enjoyed that. I think it's amazing. So yeah. All right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that. Yeah. I told you, I'm not going to miss a video from this guy. Shut up. I'm not going to do it. All right, everybody. Enjoy this. I'm sorry it took so long. It's almost a 50-minute video. That was not my intention, but, you know, it's me. Can't help it. I have to share what I'm feeling. And with that, thank you guys. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you enjoyed this video, give us a like. It really helps the channel grow. Also, if you want to subscribe, right over there. A big thank you to all my Patreons out there for everything you do. And if you want more content like this, check them out above. Remember, love one another, take care of each other. We're all stuck on this smoke ball together. We'll see you later.